All right, today we're gabbing with Kelli Ferrell, who is one of the new additions to season 16 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. This has been such a great start to the season, and Kelli, I really believe that you have been such a fantastic presence on the show so far, and it's only been 6 episodes. So, Kelli, I'm so excited to have some time with you. How are you? How has this experience been so far?
It's been amazing. Oh my God. Thank you so much for having me first. And
Of
no,
course.
I'm super excited. It's been such a phenomenal season so far.
It really has. Is it obviously filming it is one experience, but having it air is a completely different
Yes.
experience.
Yeah.
What has that been like for you to kind of get the feedback and to watch the reactions?
So it's been good. What's so crazy? We filmed like almost a year ago. So like to see everything now just kind of play out and I don't get to see what the rest of the ladies are filming either. So like to see like what the ladies are saying and what they have going on as well has been very interesting. I've been able to actually enjoy watching the show just like the fans. So it's been really good.
What is something that you have learned like since watching the show, like that you saw for the first time? You were like, oh,
Well, everybody has some strong opinions going on that I didn't know about.
right.
But it's good. It's always interesting to see again, like, how some people feel. They might not have necessarily said those things to you personally, but to see, their overall feelings, with the other girls in the group. So it's been interesting. It's an interesting dynamic for certain.
It's enlightening, isn't it, to see what people really
Oh,
think?
definitely enlightening. That is the most perfect word, enlightening. Yes.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is, especially for your first time. And I really do. I want to commend you at the top here for your openness because obviously, like
You.
you've had an up and down story, and I just think that like your willingness to share all of that, warts and all, has is that's what being a housewife is really all about, in my opinion. It's just like
Yes.
being a completely open book. And again, it can't be easy. It's a difficult topic. So I just wanted to commend you, and I'm curious if it was difficult for you to be open about that on national television, or is that just does that come naturally to you? What was sort of the mental process of getting there to share that?
First of all, thank you. I appreciate that. Because it is different for me. So I've done a number of television shows, mostly for cooking, and
Yeah.
nothing in regards to like telling my personal life and what that looks
Mhm.
like. I've been very private, especially for the last 8 years and in my life, and extremely private with my divorce. So it was very difficult. But when you go on these reality shows, such as myself, there is no cut and paste. Like you have to actually be your authentic self and like really give your real, and especially during those moments in your life. So I didn't get to pick and choose what I wanted to share. My life is my life, and I said to myself when I went on the show, I wanted to be able to just really live in my truth. And for me it was almost kind of some sort of like a sense of therapy,
Yeah.
where I can actually share what it is that I'm going through, and no matter how tough times get, or sometimes not as sometimes as good as times get, right, that we can have some our ups and our downs. But I wanted to be able to share that journey with others, and hopefully be able to inspire and motivate the next person that's going through a divorce, and let them know there, it is light after the storm. It's a beautiful rainbow after that storm, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah.
I love to hear that you feel like you're at sort of at the rainbow, at the end of the rainbow. Where do
Yes.
things stand right now with you and your ex and your marriage? Is everything settled? Like what can you say about that?
Well, I am officially divorced. I can't say everything is settled.
Congratulations. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. Officially divorced, and clearly I've, never been divorced before. So I didn't realize after divorce you still have so many things to settle financially,
Yeah.
physically, So it's so many things that still transpire after that official document is signed. And that's the process. So, although my divorce is finalized, I'm still going through life. Life is still
Yeah.
life in.
It's life still lifing. Yeah.
Yes,
Tends to
it
do
is.
that.
It is.
Right.
It is.
Right.
But it's
Right.
getting better. It's getting better.
Good.
Yes.
Good, good.
Yes.
And I also want to say that like we most recently saw this really amazing scene between you and your oldest daughter, Chloe. And I feel like that I really love that scene because it's clear that you have done such a great job of raising your daughters, but also two,
Yeah.
like that relationship in particular just seems really special. And like obviously it's mother-daughter, but there seems to be some sisterly qualities to it as well, like in terms of
Yeah.
how open you are with one another. Can you just
Mm-hmm.
speak to like that scene airing? I'm sure you've probably gotten some pretty good feedback from people seeing that.
Did. Yeah. So that scene, gosh, I looked at the scene because you film so much, you don't know what's gonna like be shown
Right.
and not shown. But I specifically remember that day and how emotional that day kind of was for me. Seeing it all play out was just like wow. But Chloe is my firstborn, and I had Chloe when I was young. I was definitely what, 21, 22.
Hmm.
So Chloe and I have a very special bond, and I have a special bond with all of my girls. I'm
Of
very open,
course.
I'm very honest, very transparent. But Chloe specifically, she's the oldest, and she kind of went through this divorce with me. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's kind of difficult, but at the same time, I never want my children alone to one, when I was growing up, we didn't have social media. So now it's social media, and you get to see everything, and it's like, if anything, if anything is to happen, I want them to hear it from me first before they hear it from their friends' moms, their teachers, the strangers. I always want to make sure that they hear it from their mom first, and I'm able to give them the truth of what that looks like before anybody spin another narrative for them.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that, and they're very understanding, and they're very amazing children, and they give me a lot of grace, and I'm very thankful for that for my daughters. So that conversation that Chloe and I had are like many conversations that we have, and I want to be open and truthful with her, and she knows to protect her sisters the way that I do, and I know how to protect all of my children the way that I do. So
Mm, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
I'm glad that we were able to have that moment and share again, what my truth and my journey has looked like.
Yeah, again, I really did love that scene.
Thank
So to
you.
get into some of the drama of the season so far, which it has not been light
Yes.
on. Um, I guess one thing I want to clarify with you is like, we saw everything happen with Brit at the vault and then with Kenya at the salon. But when it comes to what happened at the end of the vault dinner, obviously we heard Brit bring up the pistols comment. And I think that some viewers are curious because you were standing right near her and you said that you didn't hear the comment. Can you explain like just your perspective on that? Because again,
Yeah.
as it's one thing to see it on TV, it's obviously another to be
Mhm.
there in person.
Absolutely. I knew that they were going back and forth, but I didn't realize it was going to transpire the way that it did, right? And, I take my security with me everywhere, especially, with my
Hmm.
situation that I have going on. And then, of course, we
Of course.
were, in an area that, we weren't in Buckhead, so it's a little different, right?
Okay.
But at the same time, I didn't hear when I heard her say that comment about the gun. I was assuming she was saying that because maybe she was by herself and we were in Bankhead. I did not realize that she was saying that towards Kenya,
Kenya. Got it.
right? So
Mm.
that's what, I assumed that she was saying. I did not know that comment was towards Kenya at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I would never even,
And
agree
I
to
wouldn't
that.
question that. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
question
yeah.
that. But I think that's a really good clarification, honestly, because obviously
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's kind of it's obviously a very messy thing.
Yes.
Um, and then it's interesting because it's like you've said that you think that sort of Brit has always sort of had something for Kenya, but Kenya's always sort of, but Brit says that she thinks Kenya's always sort of had something against her in the situation. And I guess it's a matter of perspective. And obviously you were on the front lines of that whole thing. And I feel like as a viewer, it doesn't feel like until the end of the vault dinner that like anything really beyond just like classic housewives shade was really like said between them. What's your read on why it escalated between them? Like what Britt said that she was triggered. Like what do you think?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm still confused because you got to think about it, right? Like I had the most amazing time with Kenya.
Hmm.
I had a different taste of Kenya than clearly what Brit has experienced or whatever may trigger her. I'm not sure. I was
Mhm.
never triggered by any of the ladies. You know, it's Housewives. You know, we give classic shade. We have a good time, and we make up. We bring olive branches and olive oil, and you know, like you know, we have a good time, and we talk about it over a glass of champagne if we didn't like what you know someone had said about us. So
Right.
I'm not sure what really truly triggered Brit. All I can say is I've never had that experience with Kenya. Me and Kenya hit it off since we met
Yeah,
from
which is
day
very clear.
one.
Mhm.
She's an amazing mom. She's an amazing entrepreneur. I didn't have the same experience. I can't say what truly triggered Brit. I just, you know, I think it's very unfortunate with how everything transpired, and I just hate that it happened the way that it did.
Of
I mean,
course.
that's all I can
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Right. And last thing about this, and we'll move on. You post on your Instagram story that defending somebody then experiencing why nobody likes them is so humbling. You post on your Instagram story.
Mm-hmm.
Am I guess no, I'm gonna presume that's about Brit, and I'm
Yeah.
curious if now seeing where your friendship has netted out right now, do you regret at all sort of riding hard for Brit after everything that transpired? Like you left the hair spa event to sort of go support her, even though you obviously do have a good friendship with Kenya. But so do you regret at all some of the support that you gave Brit around that time, or no?
No, I don't. And
Okay,
let me just say this, like, I am a very loyal friend. Anyone that knows me knows that I ride hard for my friends, and I also ride hard for what's right and for what's wrong. No matter what our relationship looks like now, I would never change what I did. One, I would never stay and watch another woman tore down or belittled at an event where we should be uplifting, inspiring,
totally.
and celebrating, right? Um, you know, people show you who they are, and you just have to believe them. You know, unfortunately, we want to, you know, make people be bigger and better than sometimes what they kind of believe in themselves. So neither here or there.
Okay,
No, I would never change my you know decision on walking out. I would still do the same thing. Yeah,
got it. Okay, I totally respect it.
yeah,
I think a lot of people are intrigued in terms of where it goes wrong between you and Brit. Are we going to
yes.
see that on the show, or is that something that happened since filming?
No, you definitely see it on the show.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
unfortunately you
interesting.
do. Yeah,
Unfortunately, okay.
unfortunately, yeah.
Well, one dynamic that I really love, Kelly, is your
Mm-hmm.
and Portia's dynamic because
Yay!
as you said, like you guys you clearly have like a mutual respect over like your ability to like verbally spar and like do the ping
Yeah.
pong thing as you said, and I just think that like that again that to me is like kind of what Housewives is about is like even if
Yes.
like even if you can be sort of oil and water, like you still are able to
Yeah.
like kind of do that. Talk to me
Exist.
about that dynamic because like it just feels like it's not that serious between you two, which I think is great.
Yes. You know what I love about the situation with me and Portia? We can have our moments, we can go back and forth, but at the end of the day, like we can still support one another,
Yeah,
and we can still be in a space and still motivate and encourage and, you know, like just shine, you know? And I think that's the most beautiful part about Housewives because it is a sisterhood, it's an ensemble cast. And you want to make sure that, you know, like you're building, although you might have had relationships prior to the show, but now you're building new relationships and new sisterhoods with these other women. And I think that's the most amazing part, you know? So no, we definitely have our moments for certain. But you will also see the moments where we can come together and support one another. And I think that's even more important.
I completely agree. And again, it
Yes.
just doesn't feel like it's ever that deep, which is again, I think
No.
that's the most fun to watch. Um, and I think another thing that I think people are sort of wondering about, or I don't know if they're like if they want Shamia to be mad at Portia or if she actually is. Are
Yeah.
they are they cool right now or like what? I don't know. I feel like people are trying to like make something there that isn't actually wrong, or maybe I don't know. Are they cool?
I don't know if I should speak on that. I can
Okay.
tell you that Shamia is my girl, And
Oh,
I
she's a
can tell you that
star.
you have never had a friend like Shamia. I think she is amazing. I think she's loyal. I think she is the most
Totally.
perfect housewife. Yeah. I don't know. And honestly, whatever has transpired between her and Portia, my one thing that I could just pray for is that they work it out. You
Okay.
know? Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
Well, I was listening to Never Had this morning
yes.
while I was working. So I think it's one of the best Housewives songs in a very long time.
I
I
mean, no,
truly believe
seriously,
that.
she's crushing it. She's like
Oh
on
my
the
God.
charts. I'm so happy for her.
I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that she was in a girl group with Carrie Hilson and Shamari is just, I mean,
Right? That
that's
speaks for
legit.
itself. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, in terms of what you have going on in your businesses, like I know that obviously some of it's tied up with probably settling stuff from your
Of
divorce,
course.
but
Yeah.
are we going to get a Cooking with Kelly follow up? Are you interested in opening more locations for Nana's Chicken and Waffles? Like, talk to me about sort of the expanding Kelly empire
Yes.
on the back of this amazing platform that you're on now.
You know, I'm always looking to build this little waffle empire, one waffle at a time.
Hey,
And sometimes the waffles connect and sometimes they're not, but we are working on it. You know, I have the products. I'm super excited. You know, I
amazing.
have the waffle mix, 24 karat gold maple syrup. We just went on and did the mimosa mix is now available. So everything's good. Of course, we're always working on new locations, always working on franchising. And you just never know. Maybe you'll get a Mommy and Me cookbook soon.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I love that. I also need to
Yeah.
try the waffles, Kelly. We
Yes.
keep on
I'll
hearing about
have
the
to send you
waffles.
some goodies. I'll send you
Yeah,
some
I
goodies.
don't. I would really love that.
Yeah.
So obviously, we are still very early in the season, which is kind of wild because it feels like we have so much to work
I
with already.
know.
Again, we're just 6 episodes in, and I really, between you, Brit, Angela, and Shamia, like the new class of Atlanta Housewives has really been bringing it. I think for the most
Thank
part, it's been received
you.
just really, really well.
Thank you.
What does that feel like? Because I think a lot was riding on season 16. It was kind of a soft reboot for the show, and
Hmm.
it's gone over really well.
It's been amazing. I mean, we're number 2 on Peacock. I was like, wow, this is amazing. Did you see it? Two, two, two.
Hey,
So excited. It's been good. It's been really good. We had a fantastic season. I mean, of course, we had that like huge controversy in the beginning, but
yeah, of course.
after that, like we still got to it. We still had a great time. We traveled, we connected, reset, rebirthed, relived. We did all of the reliving moments and kind of caught up to where we needed to be. And life was still life in during those times. So you get to see a little bit of all of it. But I
Good.
think we definitely put in the work, and definitely, the newbies definitely were able to hopefully bring some growth to the
I, it
to the
seems that
show.
way, and
Yes.
obviously, towards the end, we'll get Phaedra added to the mix, and it
Yes.
sounds like you two really hit it off and have a really good friendship.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see her get into the drama, or is she there for just the fun? Like, talk to me about what she'll bring to the show when she's added or
I think
returns.
Phaedra might have stepped into the drama.
Okay,
I thought
okay.
she was coming to bring us some medicine, but clearly she did not.
More. Oh, God.
No, I thought she was coming to bring us some medicine, but no, no, no. Phaedra came in and she stepped right into the moment. It
Okay,
wasn't much left, but she got it in on the tail end for certain.
okay, all right.
But love me
Um,
some Phaedra. No, we had a
yeah,
great
yeah.
time.
I mean,
Yes.
me too. And then last question for you, Kelly.
Yeah.
Again, early in the season, but a lot going on.
Hmm.
Are you taking notes for the reunion? Are you already mentally preparing for that? Because it's going to be here before we know it, probably.
Seriously, because these episodes are going so fast. And yeah, it's been a lot of note taking in this phone for certain.
Okay.
I'm probably at
Okay.
least about 2 pages in right now.
Okay. So is it like not everybody has their own folder? It's one long sort of laundry list for you?
I have a lot. Yeah, I have bullet points, and then I think I'm gonna have to go back and like name them. You know what I mean? Like
Got it. Yeah,
P's
sure.
folder, Angela's
Color
folder.
coordinated. Color
Yeah, I'm
coordinated.
gonna have to color coordinate. And look, I even might have to put like the stars, like the people I really need to talk about, like really need to like address, and then least address. Yeah,
Oh, got
because
it.
some
Got
things are
it.
not worth it. Some things are just
Of
like,
course.
please.
Yeah, it's like in order of urgency, we'll go from
Oh,
there, right?
absolutely. We
Oh
have
my
a
God.
few urgent matters that we need to clear up,
Oh,
but yeah.
absolutely. I'm sure about that. Well, Kelli, this has been such a pleasure getting to chat with
Thank
you, and I'm just looking forward to
you.
hearing more from you and hearing more of your story on the show. It really has been a pleasure, and I think I speak for a lot of people who are really excited about the prospect of seeing more of you on TV going forward. So, thanks for
Oh,
sharing
thank
your story, and thanks
you.
for taking the time today.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited. Thank you for having me always.
Of course.